IanXIlyana here. Another day in Los Angeles, Portland, whatever. So I had a delivery of Nomi Nomi goodness. And the moment I'm outside, these people are shameless. Are shameless. So the delivery comes, it's supposed to come to my door. It's supposed to. So therefore I can just open the door, say, hello, are you the delivery person? Okay, give me my shit. And then, just fuck off and have a nice day. I would say that, but for some reason that didn't happen. Instead of giving me my stuff personally, these people keep dropping it off at the front desk because they're lazy, and they have other deliveries. I get that, but in the middle of the fucking night you do that, in the middle of the night, okay, that's a problem. And then right now someone accepted the package, is like, oh, of course, I'm the receptionist, let me accept the package, and then just took off. Okay, now I've got my PTSD, so I already knew ahead of time. I already knew ahead of time that this was that moment that the West Coast is pushing. The West Coast is pushing for me to talk to females and say, "Oh, not all females are trying to grope me or harass me." But then, didn't I just upload a video of a woman harassing me? Now, I'm a disabled person and I was taking up a lot of space and I had to make this woman wait. But that is something you have to do in life. You have to do. Sometimes you just have to wait. There are some times when it just doesn't make sense, and that frustration is real and that frustration is valid. Now, I'm pretty sure that this woman was a fucking plant by the West Coast, whatever they fucking call themselves. But her anger was valid. I'm not dismissing her being angry at the situation. I am upset because it was harassing and triggering my PTSD. But I understand it because if I had a luggage car and if I had all my stuff on the luggage, it would have been luggage to the lobby to the car to the transportation, all of it. Just get it done. Just get it done. But no, no, it had to be a big brouhaha because they want a scene. They want a scene. And so therefore, I recorded it. I recorded a scene. And they can translate that into a movie or whatever at a later date. But these people are all about, can we get you to talk to a female? It's like, no, I've been sexually abused. I've been sexually assaulted by females. I don't have to talk to them if I don't have to talk to them. Like right now, I had a situation where they were holding my Amazon package hostage for me to talk to a woman. That's fucked up. That is fucked up. Don't hold my packages hostage so that you can get me to be riled up. Because then I call up the security team and I'm like, you're gonna have to send someone down here to get into that room and get my stuff. Because I paid for it and I didn't pay for it for someone to not be there. So, of course, female dispatcher. I'm Sonia. I'm like, "Ugh, I'm gonna have to deal with this. I'm gonna have to deal with this because I want my fucking stuff. Don't hold my stuff hostage." Now, yes, I could have gone to any store, but then I have to deal with just the retarded people of the West Coast. But then again, it's not exactly as if they're completely retarded. It's that they're lonely. Like let's cut through that bullshit. When you say stupid shit like that, you're just lonely, mate. You're just lonely. You want someone to pay attention to you. You want the cool person in the leather jacket to feel like you have a connection with them. No, I don't think so. I don't want that whatsoever. People who say shit like that are people who don't have lives. Therefore, I don't want them in mine. Hello there to Livy. Hello there to Alexander. Are you Alex? And Alexander, are you Alexander? That's a clever name. That's really clever. Ah, man, I couldn't agree more with you 100%. Look, you travel to a place. Me, I'm a bard, so I travel from place to place and I collect my songs and I don't perform them. I record them, and then they're there. My new song. This is my artwork for my new single, Dengue. And so I have a new song out, Dengue. It's like really good guitar, really good rapping in it. It's super fun. It's bouncy. I don't normally promote my stuff, but I do like the song. I am so exhausted every day. It is. What can we do to just use up your adrenal glands? Use up your adrenal glands. Because my body feels like I just saw a saber-toothed tiger. But then again, I did see some nasty ass cougar outside my door right when I'm opening it. Timed it perfectly and everything. It's I know he's going to open the door in three, two, one. Because I just opened the door part the way because these people are some nasty motherfuckers. Because they're trying to tell me something that I already know. If you open the door in a place that you don't own, you don't know what's on the other side of that door. You never know what's on the other side of that door. What you see isn't exactly what's there. People could be hiding in a room across the way. People could be hiding on the side of your door. You could have anything there. I get it. I get it. Can we move to the part where no one really gives a shit about me? Can we move to the part where that is? Because I'm not a famous person. I don't know why you treat me like I'm a famous person because I'm not. If I was making famous money, you would know. I'm just a disabled veteran who wears a leather jacket. I am not cool. I'm just regular milk toast. Cool, cool. I don't know if Meta is just completely fake with the people that are on the little message boards under the posts, but how do you have two Ians in that area? I took a picture of it and I was just shocked because Ian's don't live there. If Ian's lived there, I mean I would be shocked. But I was going through this area because I was like, let me learn a little bit more about it because I'm interested in it. I'm interested in it because I'm looking at the rest of the country and I'm saying, I I just don't like it. I, I don't have to like it. I don't have to live it. I don't have to do any of it. I can choose where I live. I can choose who I let into my life because I don't know what was going on. Like I'm trying to get my fucking package from Amazon, and they're like, "Can we parade this scruffy twink in front of you? Can we do that?" Because you're going to be circling around, and you're about to deal with a lot of females. But could we circle this in front of you so you have that correlation of if you deal with a woman for I don't know a small amount of time, you'll get a shit ton of hot guys interested all on you, everything you want, but you have to talk to a woman first. It's like, nah, I really don't. I really don't. Because I'm all about that porn. I'm really all about that porn because porn shows you where life is going. Porn shows you the truth. I'm on my porn site. I see a bunch of guys, and they might have wives, they might have girlfriends, but it was a bunch of straight men fucking inanimate objects with booty hole just quivering. Okay, That is hot to me. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. One guy, he enjoyed it too much. He fell asleep and the pussy was so good. But that just goes to the point of what the fuck do I need the twink for? I would like to have a hot twink because it would just be another person. And maybe there would be chemistry there. Maybe there'd be a lot of chemistry there. But I'm not going to compromise my integrity and what I've been through, my struggle, just for that. Now, understandably, here I am saying I will write a script for the Elder Scrolls television show for Amazon. That doesn't mean I have to talk to any women. I can just hand off a script and say, "This is what you need to put on television," and just enjoy that. I don't watch, but please enjoy this. Because I was offended. Like Amazon and Bethesda offended me when they said, "No, we got Fallout. We don't need to do Elder Scrolls. No one would be interested in that." I'm interested in that. I can't watch that because I have a life, but I'm interested in that. I know a bunch of nerds would be interested in that. And quite frankly, if you're watching something like The Wheel of Time, like Game of Thrones lucked out. It was at the right time, the right everything. There was a there was a buzz. There was a buzz about those books. There was a buzz about those books. Enough buzz that people said, "No, no, you get through that first season. Get through that first season. You'll see. You'll see. You know. You know. If you know, you know." But now they have so many shows that lean into fantasy, fantasy, sci-fi, magic. So I have to write a very, very compelling 3 episode script to send to them. But like I said, I write a script and then I'll just send it to them. I don't need to be involved in any of that. In fact, I would prefer not to because I'm all about going to Mars. I'm not about that that life. Mm. But I do realize that it would help people. It would help people if a series like that was more accessible. Sure, you have the games, but sometimes you can. I'm so tired. Sometimes you can just condense all the points into television, and if you're paying attention, you just get it. If you wanted to comprehend the meaning behind a lot of things, sometimes you just have to watch the show. The books are lovely, but the games are lovely, but it's just watch a show. What is up, Mumbigar? Okay, thank you for not using the fucking N word. I appreciate that. I've been using it a little liberally in my songs right now. I don't know what's wrong with me. I really shouldn't use that word. I really shouldn't. I mean, I'm very pale, so I really shouldn't be using that word. But I do. I do. I do. I do. What is up? I'm dealing with my PTSD because I really wanted my stuff. I could have waited for my stuff and just said, "Look, I guess it's secure." But then again, I had the issue this morning of the person just left my stuff on the fucking desk outside. And so, I mean, was it anything that was super expensive? No, it wasn't. It wasn't anything super expensive. It was just my stuff. And I didn't want my stuff to be stolen. So here I go. I have to go out and like I'm trying my hardest not to, freak out because I don't want to feel like I have to fucking cover up for anyone, anything. Yeah, I have PTSD, but my open, no shirt attitude, it's not for you. It really isn't for you. It's for me. It is my body, my rules. I don't have to censor myself. I don't have to cover up because the opposite gender can't control themselves when they see me. But this front desk attendant got it, got the message, got the memo. I told her, just put the stuff on the ground. She asked me what my name was in order to confirm, and that was that. I mean, technically, in any other situation, like if I didn't have to deal with what I dealt with in that video, I would have had a different attitude. I have a different attitude when it comes to these things because I say, look, you're getting paid to work with me. You're paid to work with me. The food that you eat is because you had a conversation with me. I didn't want a conversation with you, but I paid you to have a conversation with me. So if need be, that's just going to happen. But anyway, I got my stuff. All my stuff is here. I still have to wait on more stuff tomorrow. The amount of stuff that I have to get because look, I love my food delivery. I like the local restaurants. I the best meal in San Francisco. They had a breakfast place. I won't give the name, but that breakfast place, you know who you are. That meal was transcendent. It took me places. I don't know you could do that with food legally. What you did with that food is highly suspect. But I enjoyed it, so there's that. But that life is expensive, and it's not just expensive in the case of money. It's expensive in what it does to your body. What it does to your body, because I'm an educator. I'm an educator that travels through time apparently, because I'm here to tell people that we made a turn away from hydrated food. We used to have it in our heads, you know, you'll get really sick if you just eat that. You'll get really, really sick if you just eat that. And there was a time when people would say, yeah, you're right, you're right. Put it in the pot, have it sit, simmer, stew for a while, and I'll get to it when it is chewy. I'll get to it when it is flavored. I'll get to it when it gives me all the vitamins and minerals that I need. But we turned away from that and we just went to dehydrated foods. I guess it just it just wasn't that simple to get meat and clean water. So people just said, I will go without. Any meat that we have, we'll just cook it over a fire. People talk about, the medieval times and how these serfs, these were white people I'm talking about, and they didn't know they were slaves. They didn't understand it. They saw themselves as property, and they treated themselves as such. So when the lord or lady of the area tells them, those forests belong to me, you can't use it. The farms belong to me, all the grain belongs to me, everything belongs to me. Those people starved. Those people starved, and they forgot all of this. They forgot how to eat. And fast forward to today, where you order something. I cannot speak English. Why is that fucking language so fucking difficult for me? You order. I don't know what the fuck I was trying to say. When you order, oh my lord, my lord. When you order a hamburger, it is cooked on a grill. It is just steamed. All the juices, everything is just evaporating into steam. It gets that lovely cooked grayish fucking color. It's safe. It's safe to eat. There's that. It's safe to eat. And then they sell you rehydrating it by saying, "Oh, you want ketchup? You want ketchup with that?" And you don't know any better because you grow up in a Western society, and so they sell you it, and you put it on and you say, "Oh my god, the meal is so delicious. Put some mustard on it. Put some ketchup on it. Put some mayo on it. Oh my god, this is the best meal ever." You're not eating like you're supposed to. You're thirsty. No wonder why people are drooling over famous people. It's not just the fact that they're attractive, it's they're hydrated. You can sense the water in them and you want to taste it. I know I get thirsty when I watch 911, that's for sure. There are some tasty people on it, specifically Buck. No one tells you, hey, you're supposed to have food that's wet. No one tells you that. It's something you have to learn. It's something you have to experience because health is one of those things that we just let slip through our fingers. We let it slip. I don't have enough blood quantum to qualify for a tribe. All these things that I know because of my family and my family history, these are things you would learn in a tribe. These are things that you would have explained to you because it's a cultural tradition, but even more so, it is who you are. And we let that just. So this month, I don't know, it's Black History Month, or I'm calling it just a history month. It's just a history month to me. Why? Because I'm using this month to say, why don't you go through your history? Why don't you go through your family history, my white side, and inquire about what they ate? Because there was a nebulous time when some people were free. There were free tribes. There were people who said, "Yeah, I guess I've used grain. I've seen that thing. It gave me an upset stomach. I don't want to fuck with it. I don't think anybody in my tribe should want to fuck with it either." And so they just let that go. There were people who said, "Yeah, grain isn't good. It upsets your stomach, makes you unwell, it makes you fat. Yeah, I don't want it. I don't want it." Grain and bread are things were invented to placate poor people. Bread is misery. When you think of bread, it fills you with happiness, but it's false. It's false happiness because it is the food of the oppressed and impoverished. Because when you eat bread, it just means you couldn't afford meat. When you eat a burger and it's meat in between two buns in so many ways, it also tells you, yeah, but you couldn't afford to put just meat, maybe some lettuce and things in there. If people did that, it would cost a lot more, gladly, but you would get what you paid for. People talk about the food pyramid and it's like, oh, you need grains, it's like, no, you need carbohydrates. You need carbohydrates, but you need carbohydrates from sources that aren't grain. Bread is not your friend. Bread is the person who you invite to the party. You might tell a joke, and they laugh, and you laugh, but they fuck you, they fuck your girlfriend, they fuck everything. They ruin the walls. It's like, yeah, bread is not your friend. Fuck off, bread. That's if you take away one thing from this conversation, it's fuck off, bread. Me, I've got myself a lovely dad bod right now, but it is pure water. Pure water. And you can tell because my face is fucking shiny and smooth. And I'm getting up there in age. And I'm very proud to say I look like a werewolf. But the moment I started putting hydration back into my life is the moment I started getting things back. My skin, my hair, my nails, everything. Although I really do need a pedicure. I mean, like my nails are so long, but then they snag, so I end up with like one long nail and not like five long nails. Because I'm a werewolf, I should have longer nails, but they keep snagging. So, oh well. But that's all. Uh, I always try to take a second to talk about the idea that America's education system just doesn't solve that need that we have, the need to say, when you get a job, what's your other job? It's not what do you want to be when you grow up. It's when you get your job, what is your other job? Because people seem to say, "Oh, I'm gonna, design video games, and that'll be my job." I mean, it's like, no, 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 no. You're gonna design video games. You're gonna, be a chimney sweep. I don't know what the fuck you're gonna do, but what else are you gonna do? Because number one, everything is so expensive, and two, everything is falling apart. And if we don't get it through our heads that we have to start rebuilding things, when you see a pothole, I always go to the potholes because it's something that's so commonplace, but yet still it's the first thing you ignore. The first thing you ignore. A pothole is in the middle of the road. You go over it. You go, God damn. You go, God damn. You curse, you curse. But you don't say, you know what, I'm gonna come back on my weekend and just smooth out the road. Number one, you might not have the tools for it, and two, it takes a lot of time, and three, maybe you should know what you're doing. But then there's that four. I don't know. I was doing fucking gang symbols there. See, I've lived in America for too long. If that's happening to me, but you have to get it through your head that if no one does anything about it, it just gets bigger. It gets worse. All the issues that we're talking about right now, all the issues that we have of border control and immigration and all that, it's all because we didn't take the time to fill in the small little holes in our country, the small little holes in our community where we're supposed to say, hello, how are you? I I have to relay a bit of a story. I take my dogs for walks. There's not an area right by me, and it's raining, so I got a bit lazy, and I was walking on people's lawns, and I was very lucky because they didn't say get the fuck off my porch, young man, before you get hurt. None of that. None of that. The guy looked at me and, he just, hello. And I nodded. I nodded because I was like, dude, I'm on your lawn. I am on your lawn. I apologize. I apologize. I will fucking skedaddle. But I am on your lawn at this time. So I know technically you're not. I mean, there are rules against it. There are technically rules against it, but it's what are you supposed to do when you have a choice between I let my dog shit on the fucking concrete or I walk over to the only enclosed grassy area, which happens to be what you say you own. I don't know. It's fucking weird. But then again, I'm the only person who says, let me pick it up. Because there are people who just like I dropped it and I walked it. I walked away from it. Hello, Clint. Hello, Clint. Oh my god, blast from the fucking past. Hey man, how have you been? Dude, everything has changed. Everything has changed. Number one, I left LA. Number two, I moved to San Francisco. Two, I left San Francisco. Three, I have a new service animal. I have a new service animal. He's very cool. And I guess that's it. I mean, I did some celeb stuff for like a hot minute, but the rest of it is just nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. It rains a little bit more here, but I'm still dealing with the same things. The same things of I have PTSD and I'm never going to be okay. I'm never going to ever find it in my heart to maybe look the other way and say, I could have a genuine conversation with a female ever again. Unless it's in like a highly surveilled area. A highly surveilled area. And even then it's I will talk to you, but we're gonna be apart. Like that's all. Ah. Oh my god. Things haven't been so good here, honestly. Maybe homeless again. That's why I've been gone so long. I'm sorry to hear that. I really am sorry to hear that. Clint is an amazing podcaster. He does all he can to talk about the same things that I talk about. Know your history, know your roots. There's a reason why you're here today. It's because your ancestors were making smart decisions. They understood things that we forget. I forgot today, and I'm willing to shame myself because I'm all about if you do something wrong, you should be shamed for it. You should. But I didn't know how to boil water. I forgot for a hot second how to do that because there's a specific process to do that properly, and then there's just idiocy. And I have to take responsibility and say, in that moment, I was just an idiot. I'm a genius when it comes to physics. I'm not a genius in that because I got swept away with my PTSD and the stress and the time. Hold on, I'll be back. Oh my god, sorry about that. That was odd. Um, I didn't know how to boil water. I did it incorrectly, and not a huge catastrophe, not a huge catastrophe, but it could have been. It could have been, and it was a wake up call. It was a wake up call to say I need to do simple tasks as if it was the Japanese tea ceremony. It has to have layers of steps and everything. And people say, why still keep that tradition? Why do all the fancy etiquette? It's because when you do something properly, you know the difference. When you rush things, when you try to take shortcuts, that's when things go wrong. Even going outside the door, even going outside the door is something that I have to say I'm still not learning because I don't want to give in to these fucking West Coast people who are trying to remind me of, do you know that people get attacked when especially you, because you refuse to be an indoor cat. You refuse. You refuse. It's like I chose not to live in a house. I mean I like Clint. I like Clint because Clint was living in a mobile home, and when Clint was living in a mobile home, he was happy. He was happy. Yeah, he eventually had to move and everything, but I have to believe he was happy there, and I know that I am happier just enjoying new places, new spaces, and I want this goddamn state to leave me alone because this place is so beautiful. I went out in the rain and I was, for a second, I stopped bitching and moaning and just said, this is goddamn gorgeous. It is gorgeous. Why? Because they have giant fucking trees. It is wet, but the trees, they shelter you from the rain. Think that. Think of that. It's like, well, if it's raining, you better have an umbrella. You better have an umbrella. It's like, no, you don't need one. They're trees. Just walk under a tree. You might get one drop, but the rest of it is just slipped up by the trees. It's all good. It's just been a hard struggle with all the changes in government going on right now. Lost my benefits and then preparing for another long stint in the woods. I was in Texas for. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Man, 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 man. Uh, my situation is I'm getting to the end of my American tour, and I have to choose whether or not I want to just go to Canada because I am right there. I mean, these people are fucking teasing you. They're like, you could just go to Canada, like right there. It is right there. Like what the fuck? I mean, you came this far. Canada is right there. It's like I'm looking at Canada like this. I'm looking at Canada like this. I am so close to Canada right now, and I don't know. Like, is there any reason to stay? Is there? Not when I have to deal with stuff like this. So it's difficult because I want to protect myself. I want to do what I can to mitigate the damage done by my PTSD triggers. I also want to fight. I want to fight for the country. America is land, the good land. It's good land. I'm saying it like a fucking barbarian, but what do you want? It's a place where you can cheaply just say, I can put something there and I can build a life. But you can choose. You can choose the kind of life you want to live. How many countries allow you to do that? I mean, technically, I'm not exactly the same person as I was maybe a year ago. Like, things are very, very different now. But people would fight. I know I want to fight. Streaming and expecting donations as your main income is pathetic. Viewers aren't obligated to pay. Trends change instantly, and algorithms don't care about you. If you can't get money, get a job. Well, thank you for sharing that, Shannon. I'm sorry. I'm massaging my titties while I think of an answer. Uh, okay, okay. So you do realize America's falling apart. You do realize that when America falls apart, it also exposes the idea that it's not all uniform. People say America, but they're really talking about the United States. States. There are states where people disagree on immigration. There are states where people disagree on defense spending. It all depends on where you live. And you have a choice. You have a choice on education. You can choose to homeschool your kids. I bet you didn't know that. I bet you just said, okay, well everyone else is sending them to elementary school. I guess I should too. But you don't have to. You can stay at home, or you can tell your husband, you're going to sit your ass right there and watch our kids. Because if we send them to an American school, they're going to be shot in the face. That's a thing that you shouldn't have to say. You shouldn't have to say your children are target practice for nutters because they live in America and go to school there. But that's the case. And nobody wants to do anything about it. I try to tell you, why don't you pull your kids out? Why don't you tell your kid, go do an internship, get paid as an adult, get an apartment as an adult, make adult decisions, have to fucking clean your room, have to do all your coursework that you would do in high school, but not be in high school, so you can still be alive. But nobody wants to do that. They would rather just bitch and moan about gun control, bitch and moan about mental health instead of saying, you know, what if they weren't in the school to be shot in a school? Wouldn't they just be alive? Is it that simple? I think it is. I think it is. I think at this point, you've tried everything and there's so much pushback, but there hasn't been a push in the direction that everyone can agree upon. And that's close those down schools, close them and re examine them. Say, maybe you just have a school for like two, three kids. America should consider that. Consider that maybe school is for two to three kids, and the rest of the children, they're on fucking TikTok. They're making millions and billions. And your kid is still trying to learn the Revolutionary War while dodging bullets. Wake the fuck up, people. Wake the fuck up. You don't want your kids being a TikTok whore, shaking their penises or showing tits in order to get likes, because that is what TikTok is. TikTok is literally, can we teach your children to be a whore, a prostitute for money? No, they're not ever going to be prosecuted for that because they're a major company and there's music behind it. So, you're playing Man Child by Sabrina Carpenter and it's some kid. It's just like, you want some of this, daddy? And it's just like, do you know the words are coming out your mouth while you're doing that? Do you know? Okay, well, that's. inappropriate, but also, aren't you making bank off of that? Aren't you making bank? Aren't people clicking on that and then saying, once you hit 18, get that OnlyFans? Because is it wrong? Is it wrong? Which is worse, I wonder? A closed casket for your itty bitty kid, or maybe your son or daughter grows up to be a fucking slut? Maybe you don't look at them fully in the eyes when they're at the dinner table for the holidays, but maybe you still have something to look at during those holidays. All right, let's get to some comments. I've been getting as much gear as I can. Carrie, I recently got a new multi use. Good for you, man. Homeschooling is better than public schools. You can educate them better than some organization that follows a stylized dogma. Also, it educates you. A lot of parents, they like to think, well, I don't need to know chemistry. I don't need to know organic chemistry. I don't need to know this. I don't need to know that. I'm an adult. I need to know electric bill gets paid on time, or I'm gonna have to sing a nursery rhyme because that TV isn't gonna be showing any programs to hypnotize your children, so that you can have alone adult time. Like brat dolls preparing your daughters for a Taiwan cat house since 1993. I remember when Clint was on my show and he was talking about how his niece showed him, twerking and things like that. And I was trying to, defend the idea of twerking because that's how you attract a mate. That's how you're supposed to make your body attractive and feel good and things like that. And aren't you a pagan? Like I turned to Clint and I tried to explain to him, aren't you a pagan? I mean, true, young people are supposed to be considered innocent, but young people are fucking killing. Young people are taking drugs. Young people are having sex and having kids of their own. At what point are they still innocent? And also, wouldn't you want them to at least have healthy reactions to nudity, to self esteem? There are so many people whose self esteem are bolstered by this new trend to be on social media and shake your genitals at people. Not to mention you getting paid for it. I mean, if you have to pay for college, I mean, you could do the scholarship route, but not all the scholarships are given to you. That's another rabbit hole I will go down at some other point. I guess what I'm trying to say is, could we make a decision? Could we make one decision to change this cycle, to change it? Because here I am, I'm in Oregon, and these people are always trying to jump out at me, let's just call it what it is. It's just scaring me and scaring me and scaring me, and it's, you don't want to go outside. You don't want to go outside. You don't want to go outside. At what point are you going to say, well, what are you doing about that? What are you doing about that? Are you talking about it? Are you talking about it? Are you doing anything about it? Because this place had to have a security team because they realized, you know, we could just change it by just saying, okay, these people take care of the fence. The idea of a town's guard, I will keep mentioning it. Why? Because we have fallen into this spell. I want to call it a spell, where it's the people with guns are police officers. The people with the training and the authority to enforce the laws and general popular opinion of the fucking place are police officers. Instead of saying, that's your job too. If you see someone take a woman's purse and go running and being true, do you want to be involved in that? I get it. I get it. Like, it's like I'm not about to run at that hour, but what if for an hour that was your job? That was yours. Maybe you paid for it, maybe you're not. Maybe you just realize crime goes down when the town says, "Mhm, mhm, I'm getting involved." When the town gets involved, there's less crime. When a town says, you know what, I don't really like my neighbors, I don't really like any of it, but let's go down to the local village celebration of, I don't know, groundhog or whatever, and spend some time with each other. The town gets better. Ah, Alexander Stark, King of Wales. Ian, long time no see. How's the Mars mission going? It's getting better and better. Why? Because I am moving to toward Canada. Because a new space station is good for Canada. I'm gonna go to Canada. I'm gonna first get myself a international lawyer in order to figure out how to stop America from doing these weird experiments on me where they're sending women to just abuse me. And two, I'm going to talk to them about their space program because at this point, yes, Canada should have their own space station. A new space station is good for Canada, which is also one of my things. I am a pagan, but one thing about us, I follow strict self respect, and one will be attracted to my skill and prowess over my ass bouncy. Clip, you got a big ass. I swear you would benefit from it more than you know. And as for a town guard, I agree. I'll patrol my town at night with my armor and trolls bait. That's what we need. That's what we need. Hollywood is many things. They're annoying as fuck when they bother me. But then they release films like Good Luck Don't Die Out There, I think is the name of the film. I don't know the name of the film. But I think it's like Sam Rockwell and a bunch of other people. Maybe he dances in this one too. But the premise of it is the guy comes from the future and he's got like a, a, a catcher's mask on his face and he's covered in body armor. And these people are in a restaurant and they're like, what's his deal? It's like, he's smart. He's looking at the situation going, okay, you're gonna eat your meal. You're gonna eat your meal. But once you get off, you're gonna go to your car and then someone's gonna say, give me your fucking wallet. And you're just gonna say, you're gonna belch in his fucking face and say, no, I ain't got my wallet. I left it there. And then you're gonna try to take off running and the person's gonna come and it's gonna beat the shit out of you. And you're gonna look at that person with all the body armor and say, if I was wearing body armor, I might have been able to take a punch or two. Also, maybe if I'm wearing body armor, I also have a weapon. Somehow we got tricked. We got tricked into thinking more people equals safety instead of no, the right people means safety. Other than that, fuck those people. I am glad Clint is here because I have more Viking attire which I will be transitioning into on the next podcast. I want to do one podcast in my fucking leather before I gave it up. But I'm switching over to that because I need to get it into my head. When you walk on these streets, stop trying to be fucking pretty. Stop trying to be fucking pretty. I like looking at myself. I like looking at myself like this. I think I look sexy like this. I don't need to be sexy out there. I need to say when I walk out this place, I'm going to war. I'm entering a war zone with some irradiated fucking monsters. Okay. Canada, fantastic. The US already did tests on you while you were in the Air Force. They did tests on me. They did background checks. I mean, I am a socialist, but it's not like I'm in touch with anyone or I do anything. I just talk about environmental issues and how it would be simple if you had a space station where you could say, "Did you know that there are food reserves, and these food reserves go to all of us, as opposed to." Yeah, I know you want cheese or I don't know, spaghettios or something. I could give it to you for free. I could tell you the day that it's about to no longer be on the shelves and say, come get this for free. But no, I'm going to charge you top dollar. And if you don't want to pay, I'm going to throw it into the fucking bin. That's the attitude that they have in these Western nations. That's the attitude they have. And they're not going to change on that. They've had it as a business practice to say that when you go to the market, when you go to groceries, you have to pay for money. You have to pay with money. And the pay for money is hunger. There is a major food shortage we forget about almost every yard in America. That's the acorn. I love having Clint in my chat. I love having Clint in the world because he reminds me, like, know the history of your people, know their struggle. People moved into the city and they said, "Well, I'm not going to live on the farm anymore. My father was a farmer. He spent all his days out there in the field picking the fucking potatoes. He got the weed and the corn, and he was there all day and all night. And I'm never gonna farm. I'm never gonna farm like he did. I will never do that." It's like, yeah, okay. So, how about we just put you in an office where you don't get any air, you don't get any sunlight, you don't even see your family, and your wife divorces you and fucks the fucking mailman because at least he's there. How about that instead? Instead of saying, you know what, if I lived on a farm, it would be a farm with myself, my partner, and my own kids, and I could say, well, fuck, I'm going to teach them arithmetic. I'll teach them reading, and I'll also teach them food comes from what you see in front of you. There is not that lesson. That lesson is lost on people. People used to know that. Now they don't. People in the South at least have a memory of it in some cases, or they live that life. They live that life of, okay, we have a farm and there's also hunting. We'll go hunting. But people in the cities, they don't have the memory, they don't have anything. So they look at these supermarkets and say, I know. Half this stuff I can grow. Half this stuff I could grow in an apartment. Half this stuff I can grow in a pot. I can grow somewhere. But I could grow it and own it and not have to pay you a dime. But it's just inconvenient. It's inconvenient. So I'm a socialist. I'm a socialist because I say there are some things we just have to move past. We have to move past there being a um a, a cost incentive. I don't even know how to say that word. A monetary incentive, I guess is a better way to put it. There's a monetary incentive to satisfy the need to eat. That bothers me. That bothers me on a humanitarian level, because you're saying that with all the food that we have, there's you will never run out. The idea that there are people who are starving in America right now is baffling. It is baffling because the amount of food that just gets thrown away, would feed every person in the country two, three times over, more. Because you have to say for every meal that you eat, at least 10 or 20 are just thrown out. Perfectly good meals. Just, nah, no one gave money for it, so it's no longer valuable. That's the attitude of America. And I want to change that. I want to get, I swear to God, these goddamn fucking people on the West Coast. I want to get involved in soup kitchens again because I'm a person who comes from volunteers. I'm a volunteering person. I like helping out in the community, even with my PTSD. Even with my PTSD, I wanted to help out in the community and say, I know you're struggling. Here, food. Here, food. You got so much shit going on in your life. Focus on it. But don't think that going without food makes you stronger. It might strengthen your resolve. It might make you focus on things and work some things out. But you could also do that with food in your belly. Hmm. Human help, high in protein, that one. We've been worried about you. Are you back in LA? Human help. I never left LA. I moved up the coast. I was in San Francisco. Now I'm in Portland. I'm doing my North American tour. Eventually, I'll get to Canada. Eventually, but yeah, it's just been one PTSD mess after another, and it's always I don't even know how to describe it. It's just a lot. It's a lot for me because I'm a person who likes to help people. I'm a person who says I'm not a person of faith, but when you give something of yourself, even if it's just time or charity, it restores your soul. It restores your soul because you spend the rest of the time actively being selfish. And that's just not okay. There's self preservation, and you should have self preservation. But then there's the idea that it's not a me, it's a we. And when you say we, good things happen. Good things. I like to hunt, gather, and fish. I harvested wild mushrooms last week. You getting high? You getting high? Okay, I got 3 pounds of mushrooms in 3 hours. All it cost was time and exercise. We should do something like many foreign countries where everyone brings something and the community makes one giant meal to share with everyone. They used to do that. You used to do that for your village. You would have you see when things were as simple as you wore a loincloth and you had a spear, people were friendly. People had fights, people did, but there was an understanding of, yeah, but there are wolves out there. Or there's a bear that'll come into town and will just drag you out your fucking home. or there are bandits, or there's a whole invading army coming across the way, are you really going to side with them, or are you going to side with us? See, that's the attitude that you used to have when it used to be a bit more homogenized, but you don't have that. You don't have that anymore because it's income, it's racial politics, it's gender politics, it's sexual orientation, it's genetic information, it's anything to just differentiate you and say you're something else. So simple things like a town's guard can happen, town meals can happen. Get on food stamps. It's like, oh, food stamps isn't enough because it doesn't do a public good. It doesn't do a public service. Alexander Stark, I'm sorry I didn't get to your message in time. Please try typing that again in a different way and see if I can respond to it. Because I like to say that this is the revolution. I'm trying my best to leave as many messages as possible to educate people on their options. You always have an option to change your life for the better. You always have the option to speak up and say, well, fuck it. We didn't have the tradition of having a big town meal together, but maybe we could. What does it take? Does it take food? Okay, we'll go to the local grocery stores and say, you're going to throw some of that shit out. How about you donate it? You would get a tax benefit. Your employees would enjoy the benefits of the tax benefit. Your corporate office would say, "Yeah, a tax benefit for that would be good." Get a nice banner and everything. It's a win-win situation, but people have to open up their mouths. They have to tell people what they want. If you want that, make that happen. People can live without money. We just don't because we're so obsessed with this class war that we have lost track of what matters. It is a class war. America declares wars all the time. Oh, they declare war all the time, but they don't do it through Congress. They just do it. There's a war against gay people. There's a war against brown people. There's a war against poor people. Poor people, brown, white, Asian, whatever. If you're poor, this country is against you. It really is. But then it isn't because you always have the option of getting together and collectively coming up with some solutions. This is why I mean, I'm trying to do this as tactfully as possible. But anyway, I'm just going to say it. This is why a lot of the East Asian and I guess Arabic slash Muslim people are doing well in America, really well, because they got on the phone and they talked to their cousin, they talked to their neighbors and say, look, I'm moving over there. Okay, you could stay here, but you can move over there. And until we are where we need to be, we will work together. And they have that understanding before they come over here. We are here already. We are here already, and we don't have that attitude. We don't have the attitude of, yeah, I don't want to, sit down and enjoy a meal with the person across from me, but it's good for several reasons. Get the people together, and then maybe you have a conversation or two. These people in Portland are protesting ICE hard, hard. They're getting tear gassed over this. They don't think, well, maybe there's another way. Maybe the way is you have things like a town's guard where you start saying, okay, everybody has to do a shift. All right. What do you need to do the shift? Okay, well, we need your identification, but you need to do a shift. Walk the fucking streets. But we don't have that idea. We had the idea of Game of Thrones is on. I'm going to watch Game of Thrones and I'm going to let the federal government go sneaky into people's houses and take children out of schools. That's just what we did. We were like, "Oh my god, the Stark family is going through drama. I have to focus on that." It's like, no, you got to focus on who the fuck your neighbors are. I mean, we dealt with what the Boston massacre, and none of you people said, "Yeah, who the fuck is that?" Now I get it because I am brown with a beard and I don't like being looked at twice. So I dress like a hooker because I'm like, I'm not praying to fucking whatever that is. You know when you see this. And all those inter mini wars are driven by those in power to keep those who they deem unworthy. I am tired. Deem unworthy, stay underfoot. Don't get me wrong, the other wars are going on, but driven by class. We could take the attitude of, damn it, that's life, or we could have the attitude of, yeah, but you're still living it. Every moment that you're alive, you have an opportunity to change the world. Now, that may not be someone giving you the Nobel Prize or throwing a parade in your name. Sometimes it's as simple as, I'm going to be a town's guard. Let the police still have their role, but fill in the gaps. Because the police do not have enough support. And then what they have to do is extremely fucking difficult because they're people and they're understaffed, undertrained in some cases, underappreciated in most cases. But then if you really appreciated them, you'd be one of them. In fact, you used to be one of them. The idea of a town's guard was everyone was the town's guard. Yeah, you did have some people who said, that's just my job and I do it every fucking day. But then they also had the idea of, well, we've had issues of bandits, so we're going to have all able bodied men come down to, I guess, the Castle Town Square, and we're going to teach you basic arms and defense. Good things take time, great things happen all at once. That is kind of true. Some people are just lucky. Some people are just lucky. But sometimes you gotta increase the odds in your favor. Maybe odds forever be your favor. It's like, yeah, okay, well, like maybe stack them in your favor then. If you don't like crime in your neighborhood, maybe you just have better neighbors. Is it that simple? Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. The two go hand in hand. You have good neighbors, you have less crime. Now, those neighbors could be poor like you, they could be rich like you. There's two different ways to go. But yeah, having good neighbors is a good thing. I'm planning on doing a whole lot of fishing and handing out my excess to needy families. That's a good thing. It's a really good thing. And you know what? I'm going to end this particular podcast with that just wonderful sentiment of sharing in charity, sweet charity. Because doesn't it feel good to pay less? My name is IanXIlyana. I am an environmentalist. I'm a mutant. I'm a werewolf. I'm a hero. I'm a veteran with PTSD. And it's difficult for me, but I will try and join you on this podcast as often as possible to remind you that you do have the power to make a change. And sometimes that change is just what you do in your life. How can you make your life better? If you want to do something to help someone else's life be a little bit better, well, maybe that makes your life better too. Or maybe you get nothing out of it except knowing that it was the right thing to do. I hope to see you on the next podcast. Oh, and everyone should follow Clint. He is a great podcaster. Clint, I hope to see you on another podcast soon.